Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gift of Giving. My name is Stephen Murray, and I'm the host of this show. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this program features nonprofits, foundations, and 501c3s here in the state of Nevada. And the guests on this program making our world a better and brighter place. This week's guest is no exception. It's Dr. Marilena Perrone, and she's the president of the Ashley Strong Foundation. Welcome to the program, Dr. Perrone. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule and being with us today. It's greatly appreciated.
I appreciate you.
So why don't you start by giving us a little bit of background of the organization, when it was founded, and what its mission is.
So it was founded in 2018 by Ashley from her hospital bed. While she was in the hospital, she was there for quite a bit, and she was in the ICU for most of the time. What made her feel better, knowing that she couldn't be in her own room, was to make it feel like it was an actual bedroom. So she loved to have and pick out fun sheets every day and cozy blankets, and we would put decorations on the wall, fun night lights, and really kind of not make it feel as hospital-y as it was. And so when people started to want to send gifts to her, she said, wait a minute, I don't really need much because I have what I need. My family's around me. I have comfort, and I want to do for these other kids. So she said to everyone, start collecting fun sheets, because that's one of the fun things that I enjoy. So we had T-shirts made up that said Ashley Strong. She helped me make the logo. A local cab company, Deluxe Cab actually, made the shirts for us. And we started giving them out to anyone who donated sheets and to any of the healthcare workers at the hospital who went above and beyond for her. They earned an Ashley Strong shirt, and they were vying for them. How did you get yours? How did you get yours? So it was really kind of an exciting thing at the hospital. People wanted to know more. And as we went down, when Ashley would have a better day and we could go down a corridor and get her outside, she saw how many kids just didn't have parents in the room, didn't even have a balloon. They were alone and had nothing. So her big idea was just what she always said. She liked to spread her sparkle, because she was a Vegas bling girl like you wouldn't believe. So she was a sparkle. And so she just wanted to spread sparkle and bring smiles and light into people's lives. And so her big plan was, when she got better, she was going to dance down the hallways and pass gifts out to kids and cheer them up.
Bless her heart.
So we did it in the hospital on 4th of July, right before her 14th birthday. I brought in a bunch. She was passing out red, white, and blue necklaces and balloons and leis to the doctors and the patients and people downstairs. It's just who she was. It's what she loved to do.
Just a natural born giver.
Yes.
What a beautiful heart to
Yes.
put so many other people before herself when she was clearly in pain herself.
Yes.
If she's in the hospital, you're not there lying for the pleasure of it. So then what made you get involved in the foundation?
So once it started and we started collecting the sheets, she passed in August. So it was really just a couple months that we had been collecting. Once we had all this collected, and now I didn't know what am I going to do because I don't have her to help me. One of the moms, my son played for the Junior Golden Knights. One of the moms from the hockey league did a phone call to the Golden Knights and procured their hockey rink at the CNA to do a free skate if you donated sheets. And so that was in September of 2018. So people donated sheets and money, and we raised over $30,000 in one day.
Oh my goodness.
And probably 250 sets of sheets. And
wow. That's not chump change.
That's and how we started now, saying
yes.
now we have to get moving.
Yes. And is that when the foundation actually started?
It technically began in December or January, so either 2018, 2019. I think it was 2019 where our paperwork went through. Mm-hmm. One of our dear friends is an attorney, so he filed all the paperwork for our nonprofit. Mm-hmm. And we had some volunteers who would be board members. And we started started the foundation and our mission statement and all of that to figure out what we were going to do and how we were going to move forward. And then, of course, COVID.
Yes. Well, yeah, that changed course for everybody, didn't it?
Yes,
So,
yes.
yes. Oh dear. Um, so, um, you've told us a little bit about Ashley, and I don't know if you'd like to discuss a little bit more. How long was she actually in hospital for?
She became ill in March of 2018. She became a type 1 diabetic and went into a ketoacidotic episode in the hospital. Unfortunately, no one understood that she had a fungal infection at the same time in her lungs. And it was, so everyone assumed it was bacterial. And she was being treated for bacterial, and her fungal infection was growing. Her lungs ended up having quite a bit of damage, and her trachea was destroyed, so she couldn't speak. And so during all of that time, hold on.
It's okay.
So during all of that time, she had been singing up to that point. She was a singer. And so once all this began and she ended up then in the hospital, where everyone was just trying to figure out what was going on. We figured out she had pneumonia, but we didn't know why. All the drugs weren't working, and got to a point where she could barely breathe on her own and had to be admitted into the hospital. And then from there, it was just kind of always trying to catch up and figure out, and just never did.
She sounds just a real beautiful soul.
She was
a loving,
fighter.
giving soul.
She was a fighter.
Yes. Yes. Boy, well, her short time on the planet, she sure made a difference. Huge difference. And what a legacy. You think of the legacy now with the Ashley Strong Foundation. So now you provide products now, I believe, to nursing homes and hospices. Is that the chief?
Those are the main places. We do any children that are in long-term or interim care. So we help mental care facilities. There's an orphanage on the other side of the U.S. that we help. Our goal is any child that's in some sort of a hospital setting for a while, that's not a hospital, because those kids do get a lot of care.
No.
A lot of these kids don't, and a lot of them are wards of the state. So if they don't have parents bringing them anything, they really don't have much of anything. So that's our focus, is to help these kids have things that can cheer them up, to make them have a brighter day, to give them a reason to want to get up in the morning.
Yes.
And to look forward to tomorrow, because there's not a lot to look forward to when you're on IVs all day long and
wondering if you'll ever get off. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You mentioned, I think, that you send items to somebody out of state. Do you send across the United States?
Yes.
Wherever you hear the need?
We generally do an Amazon wish list or purchasing through other online sites to send items. And items here in town, a lot of them are in-kind items that are donated or that we have purchased or accumulated that we distribute. Okay. So we do both ways.
Now, the actual products themselves, you mentioned sheets and blankets, and you said sometimes you get toys as well, and what pictures to hang on the walls. And
so
what's the main focus when it relates to products themselves?
Most of our items are projection night lights.
Okay.
The sheets and the blankets, short sleeve pajamas, because the kids have IVs and they don't want to wear hospital gowns. And then sensory toys. A lot of the places like sensory toys for the kids. A lot of the kids too, especially the kids in nursing homes, do not have the same abilities, and so they need things just to stimulate them in other ways. So a lot of sensory toys we give away. iPads are huge because different ages can all use those, and virtual reality. So that was the other thing we'll talk about later. But so we do try to. It changes every year, and some of the facilities will ask us for strollers to take the kids out of the building so they can take them for a walk, things like that. So some things are dependent upon them asking us for specific items, but in general, it's comfort items and and toys.
And the toys. Sorry, what ages do you provide the toys up to? Do you have a cutoff age? Because you're mainly dealing with children. Is it like 4 to 18 or any age up to 18?
No, I think some of the nursing homes have kids up to, I want to say 20 before they go to an adult nursing home.
Okay.
But those are also more childlike adults.
Yes.
So our sensory toys are dependent upon, again, what the facilities ask for. Our toys usually range up to about like a 16-year-old level, because we also do a lot of hospice too.
Yeah.
And so we do try to range from babies to much older. So
Yeah.
there's a broad array of
Right. But
everything.
if I'm hearing correctly, it's like if there's somebody that wants it, you really don't turn them down where they're 5 or where they're 21.
Right.
You're going to say, okay,
We
need
try to get them what they need.
Well, get them what they need,
Yes.
regardless of what the age is. Your main focus is obviously children, but
Yes.
you're not going to turn anybody down. If I'm hearing,
If we can provide it, we will.
if you can provide it, you will. But bless your hearts, bless your hearts. I think it's probably time for us to take a little brief sponsorship break. Please stay with us. We're going to be right back. Please listen to our message from Lucia Capital Group. If you have a 401k plan, or you're a company that needs your 401k plan revisited, please reach out to this organization. They will help you out.
Individual investors use IRAs and trust accounts. Employers use 401ks, 403bs, and corporate accounts. As a full-service financial institution, we at Lucia Capital Group help individuals and families as they work towards achieving their goals, whether it's managing your investments, implementing income and tax strategies, or managing risks towards enjoying a steady cash flow in retirement without the worry of the stock market volatility. Lucia Capital Group has a strategy for you. We also help employers manage employee benefits such as 401ks, 403bs, disability, life insurance, and so much more. Lucia Capital Group has served the Las Vegas area for more than 20 years. You should not let the volatility of the stock market determine your retirement future. I'm Joshua Dowd. Whether you're an individual investor looking to manage your nest egg, or an employer looking to offer new benefits or manage an existing plan, we can help. Call me today for your free consultation. 702-508-6421. That's 702-508-6421.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for staying with us, and I'd like to thank our guest, Dr. Mary-Elaine Perrone, for being with us today from the Ashley Strong Foundation. And I'd like to talk a little bit about, you deal mainly with nursing homes and hospices. And do you have to, how do the mechanics of that work when you first establish a relationship? Does the state agency refer you to them, or do you go in and approach them and say, can we do this? Can we bring these things in for kids?
I would
that
hope that in
work?
the future they'll come to us.
Yes.
We do a lot of calls. We actually have to procure places, and it's crazy that we're trying to give people things. It's hard to get there. So we have to make quite a few phone calls and make connections with places. And once they start to know who we are, then they're on board. But in the beginning, I kind of think maybe some places don't really believe we're going to do what we say we're doing, or they just are just not used to getting things. Because like I said, the places that we deal with in general are places that really aren't getting much.
Mhm.
So there are a lot of private run places or state run places, and a lot of the kids don't have parents bringing things in. So it's just whatever the facility has, and that's it. And they don't have a lot of outside resource. So when we do make the connection, what happens then is we ask the nurses generally what they need, how many kids they have, what the age range is, and then we get the items that they would like. How many sets of sheets would you like? How many boys do you have? How many girls do you have? And sort of kind of figure out, do they want Mickey sheets? Do they want polka dot sheets and that sort of a thing? And then they will let us know too, more towards Christmas generally, whether they want toys or pajamas. That's usually when we give the other items. The comfort items are generally through the year, and the toys and the pajamas are generally at Christmas time, where we give those sorts of gifts. And then the other thing we do legally, we have paperwork for photos, because those are hard for us to do, because we have to have the legal rights to put a photo up, and we don't get many of those. So that's always the hardest part is people want to see what
Yes.
we're doing,
Yes.
but
of
I can't
course.
just walk into a unit
No.
and take pictures.
No.
And I have to rely on other people to, get releases signed and get me pictures. And so they're few and far between with the actual pictures of kids,
Sure.
but we do get them here and there as far
Yes.
as that goes.
And how many hospices and nursing homes do you actually deal with at this point in time?
There's about 15 places that we deal
15?
with.
And they're mainly in Southern Nevada,
Um,
mainly? Or,
Most of them are in Nevada,
Good.
northern and southern, but we also do Utah, Arizona, Tennessee, a few across the country.
Nice.
And we're spreading every year. We're growing. We started with 2, and we've
There you
grown
go.
quite a bit in the past few years.
Now, once you've established a relationship with the hospice, if a new child comes in, do they reach out to you and say, guess what, we've got a new child in here?
Unfortunately, no.
No?
We end up having to keep checking with them to see what else they need. I
Oh,
think these places are so overburdened and busy
yes.
that they don't have time to say, hey, we usually give them 2 sets of sheets per child so they have extra. So if they
Mhm.
do have or lose a child, they do have a few extra.
Yes.
And we do generally give as many toys and pajamas as we can above and beyond what they ask for if we can. So they do have spares.
Gotcha. And now, do any individual families ever hear of you? Do any families sort of visit, say, a hospice and they see this kid's got all this stuff? And do they ever sort of contact you and say, hey, I've just had to put my kid in this hospice? No
I've
families?
never been connected to a family per se, but I have a lot of the people that work with the programs will say, hey, there's a new child that needs this. Can you help this one particular child with something? And there was a medical device that they needed for a baby to get home.
Mhm.
And so we did that. And then there was another young child who was brought somewhere locally because her parents weren't helping and left her to the state, who needed to be on around the clock medical care. And so we went, that's the first time, honestly, that I've ever gone myself and decorated a room. And I went and decorated her room.
Oh, bless your heart. How much time do you put in per week to this?
I'm also a dentist and run my own practice. So I only have so many hours a week. So I work on things between patients, on my lunch hour, on the weekends. We do board meetings on Sundays. Yeah, so my Fridays I have off. I do a lot of things on Fridays, things like today, coming here for the podcast that I took off from work to
There
come
you
here.
go.
So yeah, we put in several hours a week, and then my board members put in time on their own as well to do things too.
How many members do you actually have on your board?
My board is 5,
Okay.
but we have a lot of volunteers that help us too, that do a lot of the deliveries for us.
Mhm.
And that help us with our events and getting donations for our fundraiser and working at our fundraisers.
Yeah. We're going to talk about volunteers in the next section because volunteers are pretty much the backbone of any organization.
Absolutely.
They're the ones that keep it moving forward. You need the people at the head, but you need those really in the trenches.
Yes.
You were talking about delivering. So do your volunteers actually deliver to these kids and physically take it in? Or I appreciate that those out of state, you've probably got to mail them and or Amazon deliver or something like that. But those that are locally, do you actually try and go in person? And
That's hard again to do.
Yes.
So most of the deliveries are made to the front desk, to the nurses, and they distribute.
Oh, so.
Yes. So they get to choose which kids get what they need. We don't just walk in and disperse. So unfortunately, we don't get, but that's okay.
No, but how do you deal with the wish list then? Because you don't know what kids.
So the unit will send us, hey, we would like some sensory toys. We need this,
Gotcha.
we need
And
that.
this kind of blanket, that kind.
Yeah.
And you just pack it up and then they will say, oh, this was the child that wanted this kind of blanket.
This is
Mickey
the one
Mouse
that loves
and-
hair bows, and we bought a
Yes.
package of hair bows. And this is the one that likes stuffed animals, and this is the one who wanted music.
Okay.
Yes, they know
Yes.
who wants what.
Yes. It's kind of a shame in a way that you don't get the joy of seeing the smile on
Yes. Yes.
the recipient's face.
Yes.
But
It's it's as difficult as it is joyful.
yes, I would say it's one of those mixed emotion
Yes.
situations. But anyway, I suppose these facilities, they can't just have people wandering in and out.
Correct.
So that's probably why they make it so tough and so hard.
And with illness and things like that, these kids are already medically fragile. You know, we
Yes,
can't be walking
yes,
in and
yes. You
giving
can't
them
have
anything.
somebody with, sometimes people they go to work with coughs and colds and pass it on and the flu and without even thinking. So
Right.
they've got to be extra careful in these communities. We're going to take another sponsorship break. We're going to be right back, and please listen to this message from Pacific Coast Capital. We'll be right back.
Introducing Pacific Coast Capital, your partner in finance. We provide financing for your business. Speed, flexibility, and creativity are the foundation of our service. We'll help you navigate through change and opportunities. Our 90-plus years of experience ensures quick turnaround on loan decisions. Ride the wave to prosperity with us. Ready for new funding? Visit our website today at pacificcoastcap.com.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for Pacific Coast Capital for being a sponsor of this program. And I'd like to thank you again, Dr. Marilena Perrone, for being with us, representing Ashley Strong Foundation. You mentioned before, we were talking a little bit about it during the break, recently, or relatively recently, you started a virtual reality program that seems to be working pretty well for you. Could you explain to our viewers a little bit about that, because it sounds very intriguing and very, very worthwhile?
Yes. So a lot of the children that we work with may never leave their bed again, and may never have left their bed and not seen anything of the world that you and I have gotten to see. So there's kids that are in hospice that could do a Make-A-Wish, and some of them who will never be able to because their physical abilities don't let them. And when we heard about one particular child who wasn't able to get to their Make-A-Wish, we decided there was something else that we needed to do. So when we looked into it, we found that virtual reality was a way that they could escape their bed while they were still in their bed. They could walk on the moon. They could walk on the beach. They could go on a roller coaster. And they can see different parts of the world or do different things that they didn't physically have the ability to do. So we have been utilizing virtual reality and iPads in some of the facilities for the kids that are able to do that, and have had some really, really, really nice feedback about that.
How nice. How nice. Are you going to sort of expand that and pick up places like Disneyland or things like that, or would that be a little bit too overwhelming for some of the kids?
I don't know. We'll grow with it as we can and how we can. These things, one of the things I have to say is that I always feel like this foundation is guided by Ashley. And when the time is right and we need to do new things, they literally fall into our laps and things change. So I always feel like we're guided, and when the time is right or the thing is right or the person who's going to do this for us is right, they walk through my door or they call me, or it just happens.
Yeah.
So I know it will grow when it's meant to.
Sometimes you have to wonder about the universe out there, doesn't it, and the direction and when it comes your way. Sometimes it does make you wonder. What is the biggest challenge for the Ashley Strong Foundation at this point in time, as you see it, or
There's two
other
big
than money?
challenges.
I'm sure one's
Well,
sort
yeah,
of financial.
the two big challenges are, one is getting facilities to know who we are, to reach out to us so we don't have to find them. That's the hardest part, is finding more places we want to give to. I want to get to as many kids as we can. So we want to grow like that. And I think that the other challenge is getting our name out there so people know who we are and want to help us and be a part of who we are, so that we can grow that way. So us growing by people knowing who we are helps us get into more facilities and helps get more people involved. And those are the two biggest challenges, is basically getting out there.
Yes, getting a name out. Well, hopefully there might be some viewers here that deal with hospices or nursing homes that can reach out and get back to you, because we're going to give out your information later on where people can reach out. Now, is your organization, is it all volunteers? Is there any paid staff, or is it all volunteers and
100% volunteer. down
That's
to our
amazing.
website person, our attorney, our accounting, every single person that works at our foundation
And all
is
those
volunteer.
tax forms and
Everything.
that's amazing. That's amazing. Can you quantify at all, or is it a little bit too much, how many children you have actually helped since this program started? Or is it just...
I would say at this point, thousands.
Mhm.
At some
I
point,
would
I'd like it to
imagine.
be hundreds of thousands, but at this
Yes.
point in 6 years, it's thousands.
Yes.
You know, most of the facilities are smaller and some of them are bigger. You know, some of them have 20 kids and some of them have maybe 150, but we
Mhm.
don't work with anything huge. It's just a lot of smaller facilities. So it's a few at a time,
Yes. Hey, Rome wasn't built in a day,
Absolutely
as
not.
they say. What volunteers are there, opportunities are there within the organization? You're looking for people to deliver or people to come up with new ideas or go online and order the things or
So for right now, I think our main interest in volunteers is helping with our fundraisers at the events, and helping us get items for our events. We do have people that deliver, again, because most of our places that are local are close enough that we can just have 1 or 2 people deliver a bunch of items and the rest are all just shipped. So that's not as much work as you would think, or the facilities come to us and pick them up themselves. So that's not as big of a deal. I have a very, very small storage unit. So if that gets bigger, we'll definitely need people to help us stock an inventory. But it's more the volunteers that we have that are posting things on Instagram, telling people about us. We had Miss Teen Nevada from last year who was
Oh, nice.
constantly putting it out there on her Instagram and her social media. And I consider her a volunteer with all that she did. And other volunteers, we have a local orthodontist, Dr. Chenin, who gets kids to donate to our charity. Instead of if they have a choice, they can buy toys by saving their change or donate to our foundation. So volunteers like that and that are doing drives for sheets or pajamas. There's a fraternity at UNLV that's going to be doing a pajama drive for us. The Mesquite Club, which is doing our Amazon gift list and a sheet and pajama drive for us. So a lot of those, if you can do a drive, is a great volunteer way for us right now. It's just because we need more items.
Yes, it's getting the items. You mentioned about fundraisers, and I believe you've got one coming up, right?
Yes.
Next month in October.
Yes.
And would you like to tell us a little bit about it? I think we do have the flyer that you sent, and I know that will go on the board.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about the fundraiser. You're going to have like silent auctions and...
We'll have a silent auction, live auction. We have live entertainment. We have a kids area, so it's kid friendly. We're so blessed that the Aviators and Las Vegas Ball Club lets us utilize their VIP club room to have our event.
Nice.
Last year was our first year there. We were actually the first outside event they allowed in the ball club, aside from their own events. And so that is a beautiful venue. The Aces
Thank
too.
you, Aviators.
Yes, and the Aces are a huge partner with us. They did a basketball game for us in June. But the event itself, we have items from high-end items for like Louis Vuitton and Fendi to, we're going to have a pet, is it Pet Pal? No. I'm trying to think of the pet store, local pet store. They're giving us a puppy. Nope, not Petco. Anyway, I'll think of it.
Yes.
They're giving us a puppy to auction off.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
just a lot of fun items, and it's entertaining. We have a hole-in-one golf that you can win items at that. We have a great photographer to take pictures. We do a 360 photo booth. So it's a really fun event to raise money for the kids.
A lot of effort
Yes.
goes into it.
Yes.
You said you had it last year.
Yes.
And was it well attended?
It was well attended. We had some great sponsors. And the other cool thing too was they even let us put up a video on the Jumbotron at the ballpark and show our Ashley Strong video.
How many people are you expecting or hoping to get to attend this time?
So last year, as our first event, we had about 180. So this year, if we get over 200, to me, that's a win. So,
Yes. Yeah. That will definitely be a win.
Yes.
And tell us exactly the date. I know it's going to be on the board, but
Yes, October
sometimes people
19th.
are
It's a
hearing,
Saturday.
they're not always watching. So
Saturday, October 19th from 6 to 10 p.m. at the ballpark.
great. I hope it's going to be a very, very successful event for you.
I'm sure it will.
So I think we just, if people want to learn more about your organization, can you give us the information for your website where people can go and check and learn more about Ashley Strong Foundation?
Yes.
You're doing amazing work. You really are.
Thank you.
You and your board and your volunteers.
AshleyStrongFoundation.org. Very simple.
Very easy. Okay.
Our email is ashleystrongfoundation@yahoo.
Okay, that's easy.
Yeah. Our cell phone number will be up. If you wanted to call, you can leave us a message. And it would be me or one of our board to get back to you. If you want to buy tickets, if you want to donate, if you want to help, if you want to volunteer. To me, there's never anything too small.
Yes.
A $5 gift card is helpful. Someone that just can pass our information to someone else. Smith's now is doing, you can go sign up on Smith's and pick our organization. Every time you shop at Smith's, they'll give back money to us, so nothing comes out of your pocket and you still give back to us. There's a lot of ways that people can help and get in touch with us too.
Dr. Perrone, thank you so much for coming on this program and for the yeoman work you're doing. You're doing the Lord's work out there. It's amazing. Bless you for all the time you put into it when you already have a full-time job as dentist. So
and 2-year-old twins.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I'm a little busy.
Yeah, I would say so. So bless your heart for being on here. Thank you so much for taking time out. I hope that our viewers will get involved and share this with anybody who you know that runs a nursing home or who's involved in a nursing home or a hospice. Please reach out, share this interview with them, share the name of the organization with them so that Ashley Strong Foundation can continue to grow. So thank you again, Dr. Perrone, for being with us.
Thank you.
I'd also like to thank our show's producer, as always, John Stiles, the station owner. Appreciate you for allowing me to host this program. And especially our sponsors, Lucia Capital Group, Pacific Coast Capital, and my business partner, RJ Champion. You'll see his message at the end of this program. And I'd especially like to thank you, the viewers, for tuning in and watching this week. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to me at stephen@thegiftofgiving.vegas, and I'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, I hope you'll join us next week. Please stay safe, be kind to one another, and have a good week. Bye for now.
Mr. R.J. Champion is proud to sponsor WWDB-TV's series, The Gift of Giving, and wishes the program much success. Congratulations and gratitude to the featured guests and the organizations they represent. Our community is well served by your tireless efforts to make Nevada a better state for all its residents.